Welcome to another Liberty interview with patriots. I get to go all over the country talking to amazing people, amazing Americans that love liberty, they love their state, they love freedom. David Laughlin, thank you for doing this, brother.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, it's great. I mean, David came to our meetup here in Summerville. We're actually right now downtown Summerville, South Carolina. We were at Tolucci's Bakery, and we had a great little meetup of our members. And David, I just love doing this because our country was built on regular people. You know, I like to say the pioneers of yesterday, entrepreneurs of today. So before I even ask you the main question, why do you believe in that? Like, why do we need to bring together people of like-minded views and stand up for our liberty?
Well, I guess in my opinion, it goes back to the founding of this country. This country was founded on a certain way and a certain principles. And I feel like that's been overlooked. Yeah. I feel like it's been taken for granted. And I really feel like that it's been taken out of our schools. Our children are not taught to be proud of our country. Mm-hmm. And it's taken effect on the country from the roots up. It's becoming a problem, like a plague, a disease.
That's true.
That we're not proud of this country. And so liberties and freedoms that we have are very dear to me.
Absolutely. I did a video on that this morning about how you got to learn from what happened in the American Revolution, the war between the states has many names, war of northern aggression, the Civil War. But the point is, all of that led us to where we are now in 2026. And I challenge people, like, read it, read the history, learn from it. And you can't tell the story of America without talking about where we've come over the years, you know?
Very
That's
true.
why we have the pillars: life, liberty, history, Second Amendment, America first. So on that note, David, why are you a patriot?
We live in the greatest country on this earth. There's a reason that people from all around the world come here.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, it's hard to even put into words. You can get choked up. You can think about the people who fought for this country, who's died for the rights and the freedoms that we have. And it should mean something very near and dear to all of us. Yeah. So liberty, Christian faith, it's this country's foundation. You can't have this country without the liberties and freedoms that are about to us. And so to be a patriot, to be a person who stands up for this country, I've had parents who's always taught it to me. My grandparents served. I got a son now in the service in the Air Force. I mean, it's just something that's been instilled in us, and I think it's from the ground roots up.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you agree that even beyond the politics of it for a second, just if we support family-run businesses, veteran-owned businesses, how much more rewarding is that than just going to the big corporate businesses and we don't even know who we're dealing with?
Well, it's 100% more rewarding to me, my personal opinion, because you're actually helping put someone's food on the table that's going to feed their children, and not a corporation or somewhere around the world we don't even know.
Got enough of our money, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can help people and build the community back. You know, it used to be back in the day, just with even family or just neighbors, there was a sense of community and people looked out for each other. Yeah. And they all had basically the same core values. And if we can bring that back and get people involved, we can bypass the big corporations.
Yeah,
we can help look out for each other, and we can know the fulfilling moment of, hey, I was able to help a neighbor, and I know that neighbor might have been struggling. And we don't know people's struggles. But that way we can actually help them and know that their children are going to eat tonight, that they're building a future, they're building a legacy, or that their children's future is going to be fulfilled. And that means a lot to me as a person, as a Christian, as a human being.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, even beyond business, like I love the movie Sandlot, you know, and you got kids out there playing. And how often does that happen anymore? I mean, some people are so scared, and we live in a crazy world where people have to be thinking about things they didn't have to think about 50, 30, 20 years ago. But we got to bring that back. I think the only way we can do that is if you know David, you know Eric, we begin to know each other again. And I think that's what old America had, you know. And the reason I bring Betsy Ross with me everywhere is the spirit of those 13 colonies, the 13 stars represent. One of them was South Carolina. Bring that spirit back, David. Mm-hmm. We would change so much in our city council, school board, state house, state rep, and again, supporting all of our local business owners. So speaking of business, what is it that you do, David?
Well, I own Laughlin Services, and we do a variety of construction projects. The motto is we do everything from concrete to roofing. Remodels, renovations, floorings, bathrooms, kitchens, drywall.
Could you try again?
See, they're spying on us now.
Drywall. Don't know how that even happened.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Drywall, paint. We do everything that we can pretty much think of. Decks, porches, we can build your whole house if you need
Amazing.
to. So yeah, we try to do that and try to help out the community and give a fair price, quality work.
Why do you
and an
love
honest
Why do
person.
you love it? The work itself.
It's rewarding, especially when you get to see people's faces light up, or
Yeah.
you know you were actually able to help this person, even if it's, you know, hey, let's talk. Can from the monetary part of it, if I can do it cheaper and help you out, and I take a little cut, or my people take whatever it is, to be able to help someone. I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to help each other and look out for each other. But it's very rewarding to be able to know when people, you know, if you got something that's not secure and you know you just helped this person. We just finished a big project. You may have seen it. A lady had water damage for, she said, a year. I'm thinking probably a lot longer. It was devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, we basically had to rebuild the whole front of her house, the joist and everything, and all the way up into the rafters. But to see her when we finished it, and to know we took that out, took the termite damage out, we replaced it because her whole house was about to fall in.
Oh my goodness.
But to see her so secure and so happy, and it done my heart good to see her feel that way. You know, you could just see it on her face. She was extremely happy and thankful.
Yeah, it's a personal connection that you have with clients that you wouldn't have if you were just working for some big corporation, and
Very much.
totally different. Like I even got coffee this morning, Porcupine Coffee. Amber, I appreciate you. And she wrote this nice little note, you know, with the coffee bag. And I was thinking, here's a business in New Hampshire, states and states away from us, but she's totally all in. And you know, you don't get a handwritten note from a corporate, like it's just not going to happen. You just don't have that personal touch. So in terms of how far can you reach? So let's just say someone's watching this, how far could you go and help them geographically?
We do some of our drywall and paint stuff is all the way up in North Carolina.
Wow.
We do work all the way down into Columbia and all around these surrounding areas, of course, you know, from Monk's Corner to Mount Pleasant, Hollywood, Isle of Palms, anywhere around Charleston area, Summerville area.
But North Carolina's a long way.
Yeah. I have one of my guys who works for me, he helps, he has his own business as well and works with me. And we do businesses all the way up there. We just painted a whole apartment complex of everything.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, listen, if you're up there, you need that work done, make sure to contact David. And well, that's great to hear. I was going to ask you any amazing stories, but it sounds like that's pretty incredible one right there. Any other stories that stand out to you, helping people?
That's just the
That's a hard
most
one to
recent
beat.
one.
That's a
That's
hard
the
one.
most recent one, so it was kind of like fresh on the brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're fixing to do another project with some flooring for a nice elderly lady. She had some issues. We're going to do the flooring throughout her whole house, and she's actually going to leave this home to her grandson. He's going to move in there with her while she ages, and it's going to be a fulfilling project because not only are we doing that, we may be building a master bath and bedroom off the back of it, but it's a way for her to leave her legacy to her grandson. She wants to look out for him, and so it's a family thing, and that we get to add to that. It means a lot to be able to say, hey, we contributed and help her leave to her grandson something that means something to her and helps build his life.
Yeah. That's really making an impact in someone's life, which I think is awesome. And that's what we need a lot more of. So in terms of make America local again, and that's something I want everyone involved in. I don't care if you have a business, you don't have a business, you're a student, retired. Why do you think we need to make America local again?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons. I guess some of the things that really stand out to me is the fact that I can't reach out and touch someone across the country or across the world.
Yeah.
Locally, we can help people on different levels, not just business, but on community, church, needs for
like
children.
This in person.
You're able to reach out. You're actually able to shake someone's hand and look them in the eye, which was something we was brought up to do. We were taught you look a man in the eye and you shake his hand, and the man's word is his bond. So you can't do that from across the country, across the world.
Yeah.
And then it's harder to support. So when you're actually here and you can talk with people and converse with people and interact with them face to face and support their products, support what they do, because then you're actually helping their family directly.
Absolutely.
And I think it's very important. Locally means a lot.
Yeah. And I tell people too, like even beyond just geographical localness, what I'm asking people to think about too is like, let's just say I'm supporting Amber, right? And she's in New Hampshire. I know she's not part of the globalist problem. I mean, her slogan is roast free or die, which I think is the coolest coffee slogan ever. But I know that when I support her with the coffee I get, it's not then going to things I don't believe in.
Yes.
She's reinvesting into Bath, small town in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So even if it's something geographically maybe not local, the vision, the worldview needs to be local over global. In fact, I'm asking legislators, are you for our 5 principles, which we'll talk about in a minute, and are you for local over global? And if you are, we need to get all behind them. And if they're not, we need to vote them out.
100%.
And we got to cut the line. I mean, I'm tired of this game people play. Well, I'm generically for liberty. I'm generically a Republican. I don't care anymore about the titles. I care about where are you on principles.
Yep.
That's what really, those don't change. Parties can change, politicians can definitely change, but principles don't change. So let's go through the 5 core values we have. So why are you pro-life?
Well, if you start off from just a Christian standpoint, the Lord says he knows the baby's in the womb. You're alive at conception. God knew you before he put you there. I just read a book the other week, and it was called The Nefarious Plot or something like that. I seen a movie, and it's actually from a demon standpoint of how they're trying to take over the world and especially our country.
Yeah.
But it gave graphic details, which I'm sure we've all heard and seen at least to some degree, about abortion. And it's, even though I knew it, reading it was like, it hit a core.
Yeah.
And abortion is not birth control.
No.
There's other options. There's other stuff you can do. I mean, of course, abstinence is best before marriage, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're taught. But we also live in an age where it's also taught that sexual gratification is above everything. But if you're going to do these things, you need to realize, just like everything in life, there are consequences for your actions. And I know people have different standpoints on whether, if it was rape or if it was, some kind of sexual trauma. But I'm not going to be carrying a baby because I'm a guy. I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't agree with it, but I understand how some women may go,
Right.
because that's a traumatic thing. But at the same time, we need to remember that God has a plan we don't understand.
Yeah.
We're not meant to understand it. And so that's one of the main reasons I'm against it. There's plenty of people who want children and can't have them. If you're in a situation, why not adoption? There's other options, and just basically killing a child is not one of them.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer. And I tell people, there are people waiting months, if not years, to adopt from other countries. And if we just had a better system here where you could adopt right in America and you didn't have to wait. I mean, boy,
Yes.
that's such a need.
It should be so much easier.
Yeah, it should be way easier. The system should be much better. So being pro-liberty, our second principle, to me, that's saying we are for religious and medical freedom and our liberties in that sense. What does it mean for you to be pro-liberty?
Well, you pretty much hit the nail dead on the head. I'm going to have my freedoms that are afforded us at this country. That is something that we need to stand by, from the Constitution all the way down. The Constitution is not watered down. It is the law of the land. Our medical freedoms, you don't get to impose on me your will. People all the way back, I think it really came to a head when COVID came around and they were trying to force people to do stuff and force people to lose their jobs, lose their, you do this or we're going to fire you. That's not in this country. Our Constitution protects that.
Yeah.
I don't do the vaccine things. It's my personal opinion. Everybody has their own. I've seen so much studies and medical stuff about vaccines, all vaccines actually, that have caused so many problems throughout the years that didn't come out till later. And they changed it. Originally it was just like, well, here's a little dose of a live virus to get you immune. Now these vaccines have anything from canine DNA in them to
I'm
monkey
vaccinated.
DNA
I had the
to-
MMR vaccination in Ireland, and I had all these allergies and problems I never had.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all this stuff in it. They have aborted baby stuff in them.
Oh, I know.
They have mercury in them, aluminums, stuff that's not supposed to be in your body.
No, it's
So what
actually-
does that cause? It's going to cause problems. It's altering your stuff. And then there was even some of the stuff saying about, it's altering like your DNA.
Yeah.
Like it goes into your bloodstream and it affects you. That's not normal to me. The Bible tells us there's a cure for everything upon earth.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to live in fear. It was like I told people with COVID. They're like, well, you're going to take it? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm healthy. I'm a healthy individual. The Lord has blessed me with a great immune system. Thank goodness. Knock on some wood here. But I don't think I've ever even had the flu in my life.
Great.
So I take vitamins. I try to eat. I try to work out, take care of myself. But when you kind of forgot where I was going for a second.
Well, liberty in general, the medical
Yeah,
freedom,
the medical part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna just go put stuff in my body. Like I said, in COVID, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
I don't live in fear. And I'm not saying when COVID was around, we should go around and lick doorknobs.
Right.
But
Common sense again.
I'm not, 100% common sense, but I'm not going to live in fear. The Bible tells us 365
Faith over
times,
fear,
do
yeah.
not fear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be scared. What's going to happen is going to happen. The Lord has a plan, and it's going to act out the way he sees.
Yeah. You know, I remember in the war between the states, General Jackson in the Battle of Manassas, he stood there like a stone wall. That's why they said he was like a stone wall under fire. And someone said to him, how can you do that? How can you be so serene? And he said, my faith teaches me to feel as safe on the battlefield as I do in bed. And that's, I mean, if everyone lived like that.
Or had that faith.
Or had that faith of a mustard seed, again, we could move mountains. But no, that's amazing. Now, actually, perfect segue, being pro-history. You know how much this one means to me. So why is David Laughlin pro-history?
You can't move to the future. You can't get to the future of what this country means or needs to be if you forget the past that formed it. The foundations, anywhere from the American revolutions, which were, you know, we went to war over like, what was it, a 3% tax over tea, and now we're taxed to who knows what, and don't stand up for it. To even
like that frog in the pot that's slowly being boiled,
or even the Civil War, or the War of Northern Aggression, whichever you prefer. It shaped this country. It shapes foundations. History is important. You can't learn from the past if you erase the past.
Exactly. Absolutely. No, and I think we're depriving, younger people from, I mean, even in Ireland, you have stuff that is from the British, and we didn't tear it all down because it's part of how Ireland became a free state and got her independence, and it's a great thing to remember. So, Second Amendment, why are you pro-Second Amendment?
Well, the words of the Second Amendment kind of speak it all. I mean, you know, this, for example, some of the reasons that we haven't been invaded to the degree is because the biggest army in the world is the American people. And that's not also, you know, so the government is held in its place, because the biggest things that get me is we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. The fact that we have a constitution makes us not a democracy. Yeah. The only thing we have in common is we vote. And we don't want the government to get the power. That's why it's called We the People. We are supposed to be in power. They are supposed to work for us. And because they work for us, we are supposed to be able to afford the right to bear arms, so that we are able not only to protect our homes, protect our families, but also protect us from government tyranny. They are not supposed to be over us. They work for us, not the other way around.
Ooh, that's a good one right there.
And so I'm a firm believer. I carry everywhere I go. The Second Amendment says I have the right to carry everywhere.
Yes, sir.
It honestly says I don't need a permit to do it, even though I have one, because I try to be a law-abiding citizen.
God-given right, even more than the Constitution.
100%.
Which is, you know, really go back to common law, and
that's what it boils down to.
You know.
I mean, from the beginning of time, people have protected themselves in some way.
Exactly.
And so I'm a firm believer. I'd rather need it, you know, how did they say it? I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I'm going to do what I have to do to protect my family and my home.
Absolutely. Now, final one, and this one means a lot, I think, today more than ever in 2026. Why are you America first?
Well, like I said, this is the greatest country in the world. And people have their opinions about it. Well, it's not perfect. What is perfect? God. That's it. That's it.
We're passing through this world. Yep.
So, but like I said, there's a reason everyone's trying to get here. The freedoms that we have here, the stuff that the people are against, that they're standing up and fighting against about this country, they don't realize they're hiding behind a constitution that gives them the right to do that.
Yeah.
You know, America first is simple. We have to take care of our own. It's like I got to take care of my home before I can take care of someone else's home. It's the same thing. And you know, the freedoms that we have are taken for granted. A lot of people who are making these complaints have never left this country, have never been to a third world country, have never seen how people live, and they take it for granted every day. They listen to TikTok and they think, oh, I got a history lesson, and you know, America bad.
You don't get your history from TikTok.
Yeah, America bad.
Right.
And they run with it. The liberties that we're afforded, our God-given rights, mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, one of the things that I've said to people, and they have different views on it, is the fact that we have people who fought and died for this country, for the freedoms that we have protected under the Constitution, foreign and domestic. Well, And you have people who serve who say, well, I fought for these people to be able to, say and do whatever they want. And I agree with that. But I think, my personal opinion, and I've had people agree, I've had people disagree. The moment you use the Constitution to hide behind freedom of speech and attack this country in any way, at that point, you're a traitor.
Yeah.
And you don't deserve the liberties of the Constitution at that point. At that point, you're no different than a traitor or anyone else trying to take over this country. You're against this country. So why are you still protected at that point under? I think they should be held accountable.
Absolutely. No, I think it's, we've got to, like I said earlier, we've got to revive the spirit of patriotism. And not just this generic patriotism, but really, again, based on principles, because people go, oh, let's just have kumbaya, we're all Americans. But if your worldviews are diametrically opposed, and not only that, but one side's being militant towards the other side, you're not going to have unity with that. You can't. It's like light with darkness. And that's actually the real battle. To me, more than left and right, honestly, David, it's elitism versus regular people.
I agree.
And we're just trying to build back our country up from the bottom up. And that's the whole point of Make America Local and Businesses for Liberty. Why did you join Businesses for Liberty?
The message. The message is there. America first, Christian values, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment. It's all things that I believe in, that I try to teach my family, that I was raised to believe. We were raised, when we were children, we went to school here, we were taught in school American history and actually the love of this country.
Yeah.
We learned songs. We learned America the Beautiful. We learned the anthem. We learned all these things. We had to go to music class and sing them. And even then, at a young age, when these songs were performed and we were singing them, you got a sense of pride. It's almost like the goosebumps, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is really cool. And now it's not taught. You're taught to hate your country.
It's actually not
and you
cool
wonder
to
why.
be pro your country.
No, it's not.
Will you tell me about the story where someone had to put down the American flag or something? Or
It was several, I don't know, it might have been several years ago, but I did.
This
There
is
was
nuts. Yeah.
there was it was basically a school event. It made news and national news, so don't quote me. You can look it up. But it was where, a child or a teenager was basically told he could not fly the American flag off his truck at a high school. And I think there was a big revolt about it, but I'm like, this is our country.
It almost sounds like satire, like or sci-fi or something.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
unreal.
it's
in America that you would be offending people.
But yet we're told, well, you can't pray, it might offend somebody. But right now there's people in the streets playing, call to prayer for Islam and blocking off traffic and demanding their rights while they want to suppress ours. This is a Christian nation. People want to argue with that all they want. No, it is 100% founded on Christian values. I shared some stuff to the group earlier. It was about that. When the first prayer of Congress was a prayer through Jesus Christ for God to bless this country. Yes, we have freedom of a religion, but it has to mesh with our values and our system. Islam honestly doesn't mesh. That's why it's going to clash no matter how you do it. There's a problem with that. We are a Christian nation, whether they want to admit it or not. And nobody's saying you have to be a Christian. Nobody's saying you have to bind everything we have, but you can't suppress
But it's amazing
us.
how they tolerate everything but
Exactly. We're the ones who suppressed.
Yeah.
And there's an agenda behind all of it.
Oh yes,
And
total
it's
double
just-
standard and every way. Well, let's just say someone was following you around for a day, David. What does it look like day to day, the work you do?
Man, that varies greatly from day to day.
Same here.
I mean, getting up early in the morning, I'm usually going to go through, any text or emails that may have come through. I'm probably going to try to get some estimates, make some calls, or we're going to go look at jobs that could range from pretty much anything, and meet with employees, meet with stuff that we have to do to get the ball rolling, get the next job going, try to bless someone and hopefully bless our families in the process. But some days, I mean, it's 9, 10 o'clock at night and I'm still answering messages or calling customers. And some days I'm going, man, I ain't heard from nobody much today.
Life of an entrepreneur. Life of an entrepreneur right there. Yeah.
But it's always busy, but at the same time, it's a blessing. We try to get a little more involved in our church, so that means a lot. We're actually having a 4th of July festival or something today.
Yeah.
Don't quote the date. I think it starts at 6 o'clock at Ridgeville Church of God. They're having hot dogs and hamburgers and celebrating. So
maybe we'll get them to host a Mala event. That'd be great.
Yeah, we can try it.
Well, that's great. And then what would be, if you had to pick your favorite project? I know you do all kinds of stuff, but what would be your number one that you enjoy doing?
We do a lot of do a lot of bathrooms.
Bathrooms, yeah.
And I mean, we do a lot of everything, you know, but sometimes these bathrooms and the transformations and the people lighting up when they get to, we did one recently, we took out a whole wall and everything and we actually moved the plumbing to this side. It was like when the glass, because they don't get wet when they come in, you know, and run in and run out and stuff like that. And just, but we've actually enjoyed doing a lot of those transformations. But, you know, we just did a covered porch as well, built that on, screened it in, all that kind of stuff. And she had been wanting that project for years, and she saved and she got it, and she's loving it. So, you know, I don't really have a favorite. I think I mainly have just loving what you do and being able to help.
And you love probably the diversity of it, and it's always the same thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of times that if I had to go and paint a wall every day, I'd probably go insane. But you know, and there's nothing wrong. There's people who that's what they do and they love it. But I like to be able to, we're going to paint a wall today. We're going to put flooring down tomorrow. We're going to install cabinets. You know what? We're going to rip this bathroom out and retile the floor, or we're going to put LVP through a whole house.
I love it, yeah. Well, it's so important that you love what you do. You know, Charlie Kirk, I guess I'm going to ask you about him real quick. But Charlie said, don't just do what you love to do what people have complimented you on. So it obviously shows that they see a skill in you and you enjoy it. So that way it's not like, oh, I just love art and you're not making any money.
Yeah.
You have to be somewhat like sensible about it. So what did Charlie Kirk mean to you?
Charlie Kirk was an inspiration, and I watched him for years, and you know, the more I watched him, the more I got addicted to watching him.
I know.
I mean, he was just an incredibly smart individual. Was homeschooled, by the way, which is something my children are homeschooled. My oldest son, he actually he only did his 12th grade year homeschool and then joined the Air Force. My daughter, she's the only one that went all the way through public school, but all of my other children have been homeschooled.
Wow.
They're, you know, pretty much their whole life. So it's something my wife's passionate about, I'm passionate about.
We actually love learning as compared to just doing all this busy work, you know?
Yeah, and
we are downtown Summerville. No, this is real life right here.
But it means a lot too, because you get to teach the children actual school and history. You get it tailored around. A homeschool is very different than public school. And when you got a public school mindset, it's kind of hard for people to understand. It's something that we had to really adjust our minds to. My wife's been doing it for 11 or 13 years. And, you know, you get to take your kids out and they get to learn.
I know.
Everything they learn is a skill. Cooking is a class. And then when they get in high school, you don't have to take a bunch of classes you're never going to use or it's going to water down history. You get to actually tailor the program. Hey, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? And then you get to tailor what they're doing to that.
Yeah, and what are you actually good at too? Like what do you have a skill in, and go all in on that. Yeah. Well, that's the same problem with higher education. And Charlie's talked about that. A lot of it can be a waste of money because they have all these classes they're taking and there's no jobs.
Mm-hmm. I think he said 83 or 85% of people change their major because of what they start out and spend 3 or 4 years on, they don't use or they change it. And Charlie was an inspiration. And you know, like I said, I watched him more and more and more. And I went and fact checked some of the stuff he said, you know, because you don't just take what everyone says take it for granted. No. Even Charlie, even though his intentions, I'm sure, were pure. But then the moment that tragic day happened in Ohio or whatever, Ohio was.
Well, it was in Arizona.
Yeah. When that happened, it was unreal. It was like a surreal moment. It's like
it shook me to my core.
I didn't want to believe it. And it really was, you know, 2 to 3 days to a week. It took me a minute to even process. I felt like something was wrong with the world. Yeah. You took someone who was just a good person, an inspiration, a Christian, someone who was just trying to help people and educate our youth, because he's seen what the school system was doing in them. Yeah. He wanted them to open their eyes and do their research and realize that we're being plotted against in so many ways and they're being fooled. And he just had a good heart.
Speaking truth to power, he really was. And
they took it. They took it because he had a voice. And when you get too loud, they do what they can to stop you.
Well, I love the T-shirts. We are Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
And there's no one's going to replace Charlie Kirk. What Charlie would love to see is what has happened, which is all these people standing up in their colleges. And then I like to say in Businesses for Liberty, we wanted the spirit of what Charlie was doing just in business. I mean, we need that spirit of We love our country. We're going to speak openly. We're going to be Charlie Kirk was unapologetic for sure. Unapologetic, and make it fun. That's a big thing. Make it fun to be part of this. I love doing these interviews, David, because I get to know more about you.
Yeah.
I get to ask questions that maybe you haven't been asked before, and we get to talk about real stuff. You know, how much stuff out there people are talking about that has no lasting value, Netflix shows or whatever, inside jokes. But this is real stuff we're talking about, and I think people are craving that authenticity.
I think so, and it's like you said, it's off the hip. We didn't rehearse none of this stuff.
Nope, nothing.
I mean,
scripted.
I'm probably have watched enough of your interviews. Know you're going to ask some of the questions, but I'll be honest, I didn't sit here at home and say, how am I going to answer that? No,
and that would have come across.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to watch a scripted interview. That's lame.
I don't want it scripted because you're going to get a raw reaction from somebody. You're going to get what they really feel and how they are.
Yeah,
and you can tell if someone's reading a script.
Well, if people want to find you, Dave, what's the easiest way to find your work and online?
I have a Facebook business page and Instagram.
So Laughlin Services LLC, right?
Laughlin.
Sorry,
Laughlin. You should know that. You're from Ireland.
I'm becoming Americanized.
Yep, I'm telling you, my whole life, it was like Laughlin. I'm like, yes, spelled Laughlin, pronounced
there
Laughlin.
You go. Yeah, I'm even more proud to know that you're left. That's
right.
great.
You know, it's probably more McLaughlin in Ireland, but that's cool.
That's probably the change. All right, so at you Instagram, Facebook, where else?
Instagram, Facebook. I have. We just finally got my Google business page up and going like a month ago. They said it would take 2 or 3 weeks, and it took like 6 months, but it finally got up. So I have some stuff on there. Anything that locally, that's pretty much the only way. But like I said, if anything that people see, or I can, I got business cards.
Absolutely.
You know.
Well, the last thing I want to say is, you've heard David now. You know his heart, his story on just a few things. But here's the big thing: instead of just scrolling on your phone and looking through directories or Amazon or wherever you're going, why don't you get to know him? You know, send him a message, pray for him. I mean, that's a big thing too. Like, we're all in a spiritual battle.
Amen.
And if we can make it about relationships and not transactions, it is so rewarding. So reach out to David, pray for him, ask him questions maybe that I didn't ask him, you know? And let's make America local again with business and everything.
Let's help each other.
Yes.
Everybody, let's get involved with each other and reference and refer each other.
And that's huge. Yeah. You don't even have to have a business to refer. It costs $0 to share a post, to comment, to like, to reshare. I mean, all that costs $0, and yet it's just a little bit of time.
I got my patriotic song
and I've got the patriotic song as well.
I wrote a song for Eric here. Well, for me, but I wanted Eric to share it.
We're going to put that up as well.
It's going to be great.
Now, I want you all just to get to know him as a person, and then look at the services. Look, even if you're like, that doesn't apply to me, I don't need that stuff. Well, maybe your mother does, maybe your brother does, maybe a friend does. So when you share, you're putting him in front of a whole new network of people. And it's amazing what we can do with social media.
And anything that I can't do, I may know someone who can.
There you go. Yeah. Well, David, thank you so much for doing this.
Sir.
The next time you'll see David, we'll be behind the scenes with him. I'd love to be at one of his projects, and you'll get to see the behind the scenes. But for now, God bless you all. Keep watching, and let's stand up for such a time as this. Let's be the patriots of today as we celebrate the 4th independence.
My anniversary.
Let's live for independence.
My anniversary.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
My wife and I were married on July 4th.
Wow.
Yep.
What a patriotic couple right there. Well, David, thanks again.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it. God bless you all.